Joining me now is Democratic Congressman Eric Swalwell of California, a member of the House's Permanent Select Committee on Intelligence. Congressman, thank you for joining me. Let's get right into this deadline today for the DOJ to submit information to support any evidence of this wiretapping claim of Trump Tower by Donald Trump. Have you received anything that we don't know about?
I just called Katie right before coming on, and we have not. And so what it looks like is this was just an effort to deceive and to distract.
So what happens now?
Well, we have an open hearing coming up on March 20. And so it's my hope that we will hear from Director Comey exactly whether this claim is what we believe it to be, just deceptive, or if this really actually happened. And so we will be asking the director that, and I hope we get an answer.
Sean Spicer today said that wiretapping could mean other surveillance tactics. He said that because Donald Trump had the word wiretapping in quotes in his tweet. Have you received any information that something like that might be going on?
There's no limit to the number of smoke bombs that Donald Trump and his team are willing to throw in to this investigation. And we think that that is what this indeed is just another effort to distract us from a legitimate investigation into what were the personal, political, and financial ties between Donald Trump and his team and Russia.
Talking about Russia, there are a lot of calls for not just a bipartisan commission to investigate Donald Trump's potential or his campaign's potential ties to Russia, but an independent commission. So far, though, have you seen any evidence that would support this claim that there was some sort of nefarious relationship?
I have not. And let me just be clear. I have not seen any evidence about what Donald Trump has seen. As far as connecting the dots around Donald Trump and his team and Russia, what we have seen are deep personal, political, and financial ties. And the question that we have and why an independent commission is needed is we want to find out if indeed anyone on Donald Trump's team was working with the Russians while this was happening. And I'll give you one, Katie, that is alarming. Carter Page, in July 2016, with the permission of the campaign as a senior foreign policy advisor at the time, travels over to Moscow. This is 1 month after it's widely reported that Russia is interfering in our election. Another one, Roger Stone, another associate of the campaign, is talking to Guccifer 2.0, who is leaking hacked documents that the Russians hacked from the Democratic campaign.
If you don't have any hard evidence, though, any hard evidence to say that there was something going on between the campaign, and you only have this circumstantial evidence, what defense do you have when Donald Trump comes and says this is a political witch hunt, and those American voters out there who might say, you know what, I feel like the Democrats are going to go after him no matter what, and they want to find something, so they're going to find something?
Katie, I was a prosecutor for 7 years and put a lot of bad guys away using circumstantial evidence. In fact, I would ask jurors often to apply the bundle of sticks test. Each fact represented a stick, and you could pull out a stick, a different fact, and put pressure on it and try and bend it. But the real test was when you put all of these together: Michael Flynn lying, Jeff Sessions lying twice under oath, the number of trips to Moscow by people on Donald Trump's teams, the number of times Donald Trump speaks in such flattering ways about Putin and wants to roll back the sanctions, the change in the Republican platform with respect to its position on Russia. When you put all of those sticks together, they appear right now to be unbreakable. And so I think there's very powerful circumstantial evidence here that there were prior ties, and we want to know, were they working with the Russians as they attacked us?
They're still circumstantial. Do you believe you're going to find more than that?
Well, you know, the way the Russians work traditionally has been that their influence campaigns are to, bring people in through business and political relationships, and then because folks are so tied to them financially or through political arrangements, it's not going to be a legal document that someone signs that says, I'm going to work with the Russians. It's less, I would say, direct evidence that we'll find. But the changing of the platform after so many people had gone to Russia with respect to how they viewed Ukraine, I think that's pretty powerful. That shows the influence that Russia had over people on the Trump team.
Congressman, you are on the Intelligence Committee. Do you trust your chairman, Chairman Nunes, to conduct a fair inquiry?
He has pledged to work with ranking member Schiff and the members of the Intelligence Committee to follow the evidence wherever it may go. And I trust that if there is evidence uncomfortable for Republicans because it reflects on their president poorly, that we will still follow that, just as Democrats are pledging that if the president is cleared in this, we also think for the legitimacy of the presidency, that's important to know as well.
The CBO, moving on to healthcare, the CBO just released their estimate, and it says that under the GOP healthcare plan, 24 million more people they believe will be uninsured by 2026. It also cuts federal deficits, though, by quite a lot, $337 billion over that same period of time. Given that it does cut so much in the deficit, do you believe that this is a bill that should go any farther than where it is now, or does the fact that it is going to potentially leave so many more uninsured mean it's dead in the water for you?
Because it cuts so much in the deficit, it reflects that it's going to make people have less coverage and pay more. And, you know, just as when Donald Trump put his name on a casino and left so many people out of work and put his name on a university and left so many students in the dust, he's going to put his name on a health care plan that is going to leave people poorer and sicker. And so I'm going to continue to oppose this, and I'll be open-minded to anything that can repair the Affordable Care Act if it covers more people, brings down the costs, and improves the care. But this is just going to cost more in the premiums in the next coming years, and 24 million people over the next 10 years are going to lose coverage.
Why don't you or somebody in the Democratic Party put out a bill, though, that would amend the Affordable Care Act instead of just trying to stop a Republican replacement?
Well, as you know, Katie, the Republicans right now are in the majority in the House and the Senate, and we're open-minded. And they put out this bill without working with a single Democrat, and they are rushing it through, saying that they want to pass it in the next few weeks. And so I'm open, and I know my colleagues are, but come to us and understand why people care about having coverage and not being penalized or losing their coverage if it lapses when they have a pre-existing condition like breast cancer or Alzheimer's.
Thank you, Congressman Swalwell
Thank you,
of
Katie.
California. Appreciate it.